めちゃくちゃに反対したわよ。なのにこのバカ強引にバカ決めたのよ。本当にバカ。
タンク殺しを攻略中、フロアボスとの戦闘で全滅しかけ、そして
What's going on, my friends? The Banished Court Magician, episode number 2, and this was still a bad episode. So here's the thing with the show overall is episode number 2 was all about Alec getting his provisional license to be an adventurer. He takes on the guild leader after he gets provoked a little bit. He ends up losing, but basically holding his own against an S-rank adventurer. He rejoins with 𝐒𝐻𝐚𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐥 and 𝐒𝐻𝐚𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐥 and 𝐜𝐻𝐴, which were all members of his party when he was in school. We got another glimpse of how well that party did when they were in school. They were basically like all over the news. They were top dogs. They were projected to be the best party in the entire world. And then Alec went, you know what? I'm going to be a court magician, even though I was told I shouldn't be anyways. Peace. And they're like, what the hell? He's like, peace. And they're like, we'll come back and find you. He's like, peace. Which is all stupid because he got fired and created a ton of problems that he shouldn't have had for himself, and he could have just been an adventurer and been really successful, and they could have been way more successful than they are right now. Anyways, so you know that happens, and the episode ends with them being given a mission because again he rejoins the party and stuff, and they're gonna go on some A rank S rank adventure. So the rest of the show can basically be summed up or surmised as his friend basically said, hey, if you want to get back at the prince, let's just become the best party in the entire world. And when the kingdom ends up having a problem, they're going to have to come beg the best party in the world to help them figure out their issues. And that is the moment that you get back at the prince, not by actual revenge, but by being so important that he has to beg and ask his person that he ended up firing for assistance. And Alec goes, yeah, brother. And then they fist bump. So that's what ends up happening. Now this morning, you know, before I started watching the episode, I was telling my wife about it, and you know, I started watching the episode, and I was like, you know what? I paused it. I was like, hey, let me tell you about this stupid show. And I told her, I was like, hey, there's. I gave her the 1, 2, 3 synopsis of like, you know, let me tell you how bad the writing is in this show. I was like, you know, there's this kid, his mom dies. She was super important and super powerful, but she dies. He gets depressed. This guy comes and finds him as a depressed kid, trains him in magic, makes him OP, and then after he's OP, he goes, you know what? I shouldn't teach you anything. Now what you should do is go use your powers for good and make a lot of money, make money, get bitches kind of thing. Go be super successful, go travel the lands, go do whatever you want to do, be the most powerful wizard in the world. Just the only thing that you shouldn't do is go be a court magician, because like, just don't do that, bro. And he was a court magician, and he was like he's Captain Depressed. So this kid should be like, oh, my teacher's super depressed and was a court magician. I should stay as far away from that as humanly effing possible. And the problem, and then the other thing I let her know was like, you know, hey, they depict this character Alec as valedictorian, as the top of his class, super intelligent and super smart. He should have a better purview of the kingdom as like, oh, that's a shitty job. Sure, a court magician pays well, but that you have to deal with nobles and corruption, and that's a shitty job. Because I'm smart, right? I'm super intelligent. I'm valedictorian of this magic school. I should have the 2 brain cells to be like, you know what? My teacher was right. I should stay the fuck away from that. But instead he goes, I want to go be a court magician anyways. I'm going to go prove my teacher wrong. I'm going to go, I'm going to go put respect on his name. So is he super intelligent, or is he a fucking moron? So based on that, it makes it super hard to watch this show, because you can't be a moron and super intelligent. You could be ignorant up to the world, but he doesn't seem that way. At least he's presented as being super intelligent and methodical, and but his actions don't say that. So the basis of the show is that he's a court magician who was banished, who was fired or whatever, but he shouldn't have been one to begin with, because if he was so smart and so intelligent, he should be able to put 2 and 2 together that his teacher was right. So instead of that, he goes and he becomes a court magician anyways. He makes an enemy in the prince. The prince thinks he's useless. He fires him. He fires the court magician. He was super important to the kingdom and the king. So he made enemies because obviously he's a commoner who was important to the king and was super intelligent and was making up spells and doing this and doing that. So he now has noble enemies across the kingdom. And then you have the prince as your enemy, which all could have been avoided if he wasn't a fucking court magician. So now he's going to go become an adventurer. Now he's going to go do what he should have done after his academy life and go become an adventurer. And he should know that if you are a good adventurer, if you are important, if you're of a certain rank, the money comes pouring in. Make it make sense. So when I'm watching the show through the lenses of all of that I just word vomited, it makes it a pretty terrible show. Now, if I remove all of that hatred and all of that, if I basically just go, if I remove all of my knowledge from my head and I just go happy, 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 and I don't think about anything, it's okay. I'll leave you guys on that thought there. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Will it be back for episode 3? I don't know. You guys let me know. What do you guys think? But yeah, anyways, that's how I feel about the show. Another just... There's potential here, but man, some of the writing, it's just like... When I watch or read a show or piece of media, I shouldn't feel like I could write this better. I should feel like the disparity between me and the author is so great and they're so good that I shouldn't be able to be like, I could fix this. I could make this better. Anyways, I'll leave you guys on those thoughts. I'll see you guys next week. If not for this show, another one.